beautiful downloads that I've been getting, really different energies, so I wanted to share it as soon as I could. I've had to process the downloads as I've been getting them, so I'm really, really excited. Super, super excited. So welcome. I'm Celeste. I am an Ascension teacher and healer. I'm a vibrational healer. I'm a vibrational conduit for the Source Creator. Thank you, Creator. Thank you, Holy Source Creator. I hopefully want to get in a little bit of the Spirit guided me to do just a little bit of cleansing your fields, how to do that, how to cleanse your fields, how to cleanse your chakras really quickly. Hello, beautiful. Hello, beautiful. Hello, beautiful. It's really great information. And so I have a lot of channeled information from the Arcturians. They gave me a little bit of a channel today, and then it'll kind of work into what we're working with. And just be sure that there is people that are watching the chat room just because of all things, and so they're now logging it back to global things that are going on. And so we're excited that there's finally going to be an ending to all the things that have been happening, and I get to move forward in beautiful success and abundance for completing the role and the mission we have on earth, and that is just to lead people through the process of ascension, through divine self-love and healing, and transmuting your own soul fragments and reintegrating them. And so what I speak about is, what I'm going to speak about today has never before in the way that it's going to be talked about. I'm bringing a higher dimension. Of course, everything that I talk about is from the top down, so the 13th dimension down. I speak for voices on humanity that have been suppressed and have been transgressed, if you will. And so there has been a huge collective of our social collective that's been left out. Of course, the children, which I've been talking about for many, many years, the hybrid children, the crystalline children, the indigo children, which I'm a part of. I'm a crystal child as an advanced one, as Spirit has called me. And the many beautiful DNA experiences. We're going to talk about the DNA, we're going to talk about the brain, and then we're going to talk about things that have never been discussed before but need to absolutely be approached from the higher dimensional perspective so that the collective can start learning and growing in higher vibrational ways. Most of the constructs on our earth are really low vibrational consciousness. 3D is a low vibrational consciousness because it's built on the constructs and the structures that had nothing to do with the higher alignment of who we are as Source Creator. And so we're now down what is church and state because they've been a lot of misguided informations and not the highest alignment that is of Source. Most people that are in church and state do not have the alignment with Source, so therefore thus whatever is created is just the construct's regurgitation of 3D, and it needs to be brought in from a higher perspective. So this is the very first time that we've ever talked about these topics. It will have everything to do with what I am a part of. As you see, just the grouping of people have just signed on. So the Interpol investigations are going to be watching everybody and their comments for the group collective hate that has been going on my channel and the suppressions that have been going on. So just know anybody that is making derogatory comments, this is a free will channel, so you can get off and just kick them off the channel. Just give them 5 seconds or so that the Interpol can log their IP addresses and where they're coming from, because there are criminal abuses investigations that are going on. So we're so excited. And so everything that I bring forward is from the higher dimensions and down, because I'm a channeler for Source Creator on behalf of what needs to be brought up in the collective. So Source has been giving me these channels and downloads, and we're bringing it forward in a 5D collection vibrational offering, because we have to see these things in different ways for us to heal and for us to transcend and move on. Which is really exciting because I'm the only one that talks about it, is the DNA allocation for these new species of consciousness that have, as we talked about in my last video, they've done enough work within the karmic galactic experiences of what Source has given certain species to come forward and begin their Christ consciousness experience. So we have to really understand that as a part of how we are moving forward in a new dynamic of 5D. All of the species have been kind of out of the mix for a while. We are this beautiful planet of diversity, and the DNA allocation has everything to do with everything that we talk about as far as DNA activations, where your soul's blueprint is. Everything is connected back to your soul's blueprint, which will be what we're going to talk about today. It's directly related to your soul's blueprint and come with the certain encoding that we do, why we come with the blueprint that we do, why we are born into the families that we are born in and the contracts that we're born in, why we have the navigational path that we have to have so that we can bring forward the various skills, gifts, and aptitudes and the capacity for ourselves to step into the highest power, our highest north. So if we're not challenged in the darker ways, if you will, if we're not challenged in by what we're seeing in the collective and not calling it out, not speaking on behalf of the spirit, not speaking on behalf, then those collective experiences won't change. So we have to be able to change standards. We have to be able to challenge conformity, because it's not where we're meant to be. We're meant to be so much higher. And humanity's ascension has been delayed simply because of the suppressive experiences that have been human targeting to keep us numb and dumb and suppressed. It's really important that we align ourselves with our higher self every day. Everything that I talk about is the alignment of the higher self. Everything that we align with in the attitude of who we are as the higher self is moving us into 5D, if you will. Not move into 5D unless you are aligned with your higher self. So there has to be that understanding of you carrying through the infinite dimensions that you belong with. It's all your higher self. And why your higher self will bring you certain people, places, or experiences so that you can test all past cycles of ascension. What did you learn? Where did you grow? What things are you working on now? And it's always, when we talk about the heavens, in my experience, the heavens and your teams and your higher self will test you in many different ways, especially if you're going to be a teacher, healer, and a leader. So part of my role too is assist, guide those on the planet that are light workers, that are wanting to move up their skills and gifts and be in initiation with the masters and their guides and their higher selves. So you can book a session with me for 5D vocational alignment sessions and truly start working on your gifts to get your hands into what we call getting into the communities. We don't want you to be living your life as a light worker of your home. It's okay to do your business from your home and have that be your mainstay, if you will, but we're meant to be in the collective. We're meant to be in the communities. We're meant to be to community offices on how we can assist and volunteer work and helping the homeless and all of those things. Light workers are meant to be more and more in the communities. And so we really want to change active and get the organization of the light workers, because I'm going to be offering you a little bit of an awakening today. The Arcturians have said there's going to be mass awakenings with the light, thank you Holy Spirit, with the light that is being bathed on the planet between the August 8th portal. And so that means that there's going to be a lot of teachers and healers and leaders that are going to be needed to assist in making new laws and rewriting new laws, things that have been happening in the communities like secret society abuses, the abuse of the church and state, of officials and authorities for money to suppress and silence certain people. And we're really meant to start being the voice of those that have forgotten their voice, and really start reclaiming socio-altruism, which I've been the first one to talk about that. If you go back to a couple of years ago, socio-altruism was brought to me, I think, by the Arcturians. We talked about the forgiveness of debt, and we talked about the forgiveness of how to align yourself with a higher vibrational reality, and what you can do every 3 months, which I suggest on your Ascension path work, is to go through those really important soul blueprint sessions with your teams and really talk about, where am I at right now? What can I forgive and let go of? If somebody owes you debt or you owe them debt, how to look at those things in higher vibrational dimensional ways so that you can start releasing yourself from 3D constructs in the 3D matrix. So it's going to be really important that, we kind of all step up to new vibrational alignments in our consciousness. What I speak about today is a 5D consciousness. I got my little golden little things there. We're going to talk about 5D consciousness in regards to trans, the meaning of trans, and how we've perceived it in our collective. LGBTQ+. I'm so happy to have you a part of our platform. And we want to take these understandings up to a higher level, because Spirit has shown me, because I'm a conduit for the collective. Spirit gives me these downloads at a collective level, 5D perspective and higher. From the collective level, there is a lot of misguidance, information, misunderstandings about trans. I'm speaking from it from a consciousness perspective. I'm speaking from it from a DNA perspective. I'm speaking from it from a higher vibrational perspective. And then therefore, everybody that is a part of LGBTQ+, a part of the collective, it's everybody's part to bring higher vibrational understanding, compassion, and oneness and diversity to all that we are as creator, because we're all source creator. We've each come here with a unique soul's blueprint. Everybody's blueprint is connected to their higher self and all the other realms and planets and timelines and bodies that we exist in. So everybody's universal, diverse soul's blueprint is very dynamic within the play of all of creation, within the play and the puzzle of humanity. So it's really important that we have these higher vibrational understandings of what trans is from a higher consciousness perspective. And then everybody can sit with it and allow the information to process. That's what I'm asking you to do. Allow the information of what trans is. I'm going to give you a higher vibrational understanding of it, because we do need to start, and this is where you're needed, we do need to start some sort of uniformity that is aligned with soul's blueprint, and it's not aligned with lower vibrational misguidances, lower vibrational misunderstandings. In every city and in every province, if you're in Canada, or every state, there's different understandings for how one goes through that checklist of how they determine themselves as trans or not, or choose their own identity in gender. And I'm going to explain something, but it's such a dynamic and complex issue and topic. And so I'm really excited to bring it forward for the very first time. And Source has given this to me. So I feel very honored to be a part of this. And because I feel very verklempt talking about it is because when they gave me the download, I saw a huge community of LGBTQ+, feeling like as if their voices were absolutely erased and taken from them. And that was the exact experience that I had for my whole life. There was so much done to me to suppress who I was as a very special being. And there's little understanding about why and how we come as we do. But there is higher and your soul's divine destiny as your blueprint. And whether you're a crystalline child, and whether you're a high empath, whether you're a high functioning like I am, I've got the bad thing that you can imagine. I was talking to Source last night. I said, boy, you really gave me a mix of everything that is a misfit, because I'm high functioning, I'm a crystal child. I've had a very high lateral. We're going to talk about that. I have a really high functioning translateral experience with energy. That's what trans really means. It means that you can move back and forth in energies within fluid experience of your body that you're born in. We want to take everybody out of, and it's hard because we're so physical, and we base all of our experiences on the socio projections and socio ideologies and dogmatic ideologies and dogmatic conformities, which has really suppressed humanity and their sexuality, and they flow with themselves as sexual beings. For a sexual being, we want to really make it basic and unified. We are divine souls in a divine masculine and human body. And our sexuality moves in between the DNA of how we are processing and how we're being integrated within the DNA of who we are. And the DNA activations occur on what spiral of ascension are you working on, and what are you integrating as those soul lessons, whether it's a divine masculine lesson to speak your truth and act on those things you need to act, divine masculine experiences. Maybe it was a divine masculine abuse, maybe it was divine masculine misogyny. Anything that is a divine masculine energy that you're working on in that spiral of ascension. We really have to understand this at a higher vibrational level, because it will really relieve, and I saw a lot of people in this collective being relieved, because there's never been higher vibrational information brought forward about LGBTQT+, so that we can raise our consciousness to a higher level. We are bodies in a vessel of physicality. We each come with divine feminine masculine energies. That is the DNA activation. It is our design. The DNA is our design. So I'm going to talk about that too, because all of these things are really new, but it's going to allow you so much expansion in who you are. And so in this design of DNA, it's all linked to your soul's blueprint on why you're here to do what you're here to do, your soul's contract. I'm going to give you an example with myself, as for instance. All throughout my childhood, I was very, very athletic. I was road hockey. The boys with me, I would always be a great scorer and road hockey. I was in all the sports because I was always active. My energy was always high. And I've always had a very, I've always been very keen on boys. I've always been very attracted to boys, and I've known my sexual preferences in that way. But through my life, I've always taken jobs and roles of leadership. I was a team leader in an investigations unit. I was a team lead in most of my jobs. I've leveled up into a team lead. I just enjoy that process of leading and contributing in that way. And those are very, if you will, in old school world, it is a very masculine energy lead as a divine feminine. And I was, of course, as every other feminine has experienced, you're always experiencing the misogyny that when a divine feminine levels up, it challenges it. It brings threat, if you will, to those that are also in leadership positions, because that's their sense of ego being challenged. But they're not healed. They're just working from, divine feminine in leadership. And a lot of the attacks that were happening on me were because of those gender woundings that had not occurred, that they had not been worked through. They had not been understanding of themselves. And so for a divine feminine, and there's many other crimes, been coming across of women that have been attacked and killed because of men that were in their wounding and other women that were in their wounding because they felt threatened and jealous and envious of those 7 sins, if you will, that we work through in Ascension process. So everything that I talk about is to heal the soul fragments. All of the that have been on me have been because of church and state misunderstanding, church and state misogynies and bigotry. They have been discrimination on every level, human rights abusive, YouTube offering and blocking me. And they all know what they're doing, and it is a global loss. So Spirit said just before I came on that the consequences will be grave for those that have chosen to continue to refuse to pay me what I'm owed, to refuse the orders of pay that they've been orders to pay me, because right now I haven't eaten in like 5 days and all of my bills are behind. So I'm in a very dire situation financially, but I'm still coming forward and teaching these beautiful teachings. And I just know that donations and things will come in. I trust Source explicitly, but these people wanted to see me suffer. They wanted to see the divine feminine in all of her glory that she comes, no matter what state she's in, she'll come forward and she'll do the healing and she'll do the teaching and the leadership that's meant to be done, because that is my role. I will continue with my ascension path. I work for New Earth, so I'm very, very happy. And why I had to go through a lot of I had to go through. But we're talking about my soul's blueprint as a divine feminine, whatever the coding is in the DNA, gender sequencing, if you will, because there's a lot to this dynamic experience. So if you want to write notes down, please do, please do, please do. You'll get so much expansive wisdom and information in this. I guarantee you, you're going to wake up with a different consciousness, because we want to take you to 5D consciousness. So in my unique soul's blueprint, I was born in a divine feminine body, and a lot of my dominant recessive genes and how I was designed. God gave me this design, this DNA design. And whatever was done in Project Stargate, it fixed a lot of the DNA things that had happened to me that they had induced, if you will, Project Stargate, because that's all going to come out too, all right, the truth about my birth and all of that government manipulation. But Spirit had to fix a lot. Divine, I want to make this very clear, write it down, it is so important. For those LGBTQ+, those that are going through, even if you know that there's many differences here, so I want to be respectful and honoring of everything that I'm saying, because I want to take it to this level of consciousness. We are in a body. Whatever you are working on to integrate into your soul, you are meant to navigate through your divine feminine energies, and whatever you're meant to see as attractive and loving and unified and oneness, that is meant to be open and fluid. As long as we're respecting the human rights laws, of course. You're not doing anything that is illegal, and again, not against any children. Because again, that's illegal. But again, that's why responsibility and communication is needed. And that's why we have to understand who we are at a higher vibrational level. And so in this mapping of me, the design of me, Source knew before I came here, because it was Source, it was always planned, and I had planned it as a soul, why I was going to come here, when I would come here, and what my roles were based on ancients, now and futures, and the celestial and the multiverse that I belong to, because I belong to a multiverse collective of species to advance in Christ consciousness, to advance in light evolution. That's one of my core themes. I'm here to advance light evolution for all species in the multiverse. So Source knew that in this unfolding of my blueprint, that there would be certain manipulations and many people that would want to take control over the story of my narrative. And so in that, there was many manipulation done, but Source's game for me was to always be a divine feminine in my divine feminine body, and to have my divine feminine attractions and my divine feminine design and all that makes me a beautiful divine feminine. You know, I love house design, I love all the beautiful things that are luxury and fashion, and all are me, divine feminine. And taking care of my children and loving my children and healing people, I'm a divine feminine at my core. But a lot of my dominant and recessive energies in that DNA had to come forward in a very strong divine masculine design. Part of my DNA and my design was balanced a lot of divine masculine energy. So because I had healed a lot of my divine feminine masculine energies last lifetime. So this lifetime, I still divine masculine energies because of all the abuses from the divine masculine collective to me, because they're projecting their wounds of not healed in their divine feminine energies, because I held the divine feminine leadership role. And that was challenging and threatening to their ego, to where they not healed. Spirit and Lord Michael, can you please clear the chat room, please, of all these nefarious energies that are throwing hate? Thank you. I stand in divine feminine energy, and I stand in the Holy Mother and the Holy Father. And if you don't like my channel, you get off. It is free will. And just know that Interpol is logging all of your IP addresses, so everybody is being investigated for the hate. Thank you, Interpol, for all of your investigations that are going against these global experiences. And so, in that soul's blueprint, everything returns back to your soul's blueprint on why you're going through what you're going through, why you're experiencing what you're experiencing, whether it's sexually, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and then uniformly in your physical body. Everything is aligned with your soul's blueprint. I need a very strong, dominant, and a recessive gene. I need those genes, and I needed that DNA design for me to stand in the power that I am, for me to overcome eons of misogyny and eons of elitism and eons of bigotry and eons of old boys school. That had to be in my DNA package. That had to be in my DNA mapping. And so everything that I'd forward from all of my ancient timelines, because I am connected with all the ancient timelines, I'm connected with so many Egyptian and Atlantis, and I'm connected with the mother, so it had to be a part of my DNA makeup. And we talk about the DNA allocation, right? The DNA allocation. So as you move up in consciousness, A is activated by the light. And how do you get the light within your body and your readiness to have your DNA activated, and who is responsible for that? It is, again, your higher self. When your higher self knows that you're working on clearing and cleansing those densities, your DNA gets activated by the light because you've cleared that density, and that density has now become transmuted, the alchemies, the 3 A's. You're now calling in that soul fragment to have it become more of a light perspective. Whether it's your gender preferencing, whether you have discriminations about gender preferencing, whether you have discriminations about low vibrational ideologies of gender preferencing, because there is a non-unif experience in the whole LGBTQ plus experience when it comes to trans, because it's not properly understood from a higher vibrational perspective. Some are under the understanding that it's a psychological thing. It's such a dynamic, complex topic, and each person is unique in their understanding and their soul's experience and their life experience, because some people have come with bodies that their parents chose on their behalf, different parts changed and altered to make it easier for the life, if you will, or it was on the parents' behalf, but that child still came in with the body that they came in with, the soul and the DNA mapping. The gender trans that I'm talking about has to do with your DNA and your soul's blueprint. So there is a higher purpose, there is a more dimensional purpose for the DNA allocations and the species that you come for, the species that you're a part of, and the light that you're carrying in the translateral flow of your energy. So that's where I want to take transgender. I want to take transgender not specifically from the body, because we want to say it's very unique and dynamic to every person, because again, some parents took that upon themselves to make decisions for their children based on whatever they were born as or with, or if there was any maladies or any differences that they wanted to make on behalf of their child. So there's many, many different cases of energy and ideas, but I want to take this to a higher understanding. We are all vessels of humanoid, celestial, alien DNA. We come in packages of source creator. We are all carbon and we are all crystalline. What your DNA chooses as a dominant and a recessive attribute, or the DNA design. The DNA wants you to feel divine, feminine, beautiful. And feminine has these goddess energies from ancient Egypt. The DNA has your Atlantis energies of being a shaman or working with crystals. Whatever the DNA is, when it gets activated because you've integrated those densities, that light DNA turns on. Whatever that code is, that codon activates in light, and then you're given that access to whatever that codon is holding. Now, some codons are holding a higher fluidity of translateral energy. So this is where I want to take trans, and it's never been talked about before because it's higher vibrational, higher dimensional. Some beings come here, as we all know, the children nowadays are so high vibrational and they're celestial already. They're light years ahead of us. This is why we have to change our thinking. We have to change the dynamics, because some that are born with that translateral uniformity, which I was born with translateral uniformity. I have access to both male and feminine energies right now. Whatever I need, I'll pull on it. That is just allowing the body of you, whatever body you are in, to have equal access. The Spirit showed me what trans means in the higher dimensions. When being is standing in all of their DNA, because the DNA runs like the Kundalini down the base of your spine, because that's where the light goes. It's called the pillar of light along your spine, and it activates the chakras. Chakras activate and clear. You then pull up those triggers. You then pull up those fragments of soul energy of wounding, and then you're meant to integrate them. That's what I teach. I teach you that soul integration. Therefore, your DNA is now ready, and your higher self and God say, okay, for that next light activation in the DNA. And that DNA will give you a more translateral energy between your chakras and the sides of your body. We call them axonal lines. So it's all vibrational. It's all about energy. It's about your energy. And so those that claim themselves as trans, there's infinite explorations of trans that you can talk about. Essentially, it is the inner experience of them as a spirit and a soul. It goes back to your blueprint. The spirit and the soul aching to express itself in a certain way. Now again, we want to release the idea of being connected with the body and the gender because the consciousness in our collective is so low that they connect the body and what you're attracted to as a gender and a sexual because it's so suppressed. This is where a lot of the underground and a lot of sex cults and a lot of people have gone into these experiences of debauchery because it's been misunderstood and underrepresented in a higher intellectual way on about, and we express energy, how we want to express energy, how we want to feel with energy. And part of being translateral is a part of allowing those energies to flow, whatever body you have. Remember, this is very important. Write it down. I have shivers everywhere. Your soul's blueprint in the body that you come in is the design by Creator and you. For your divine soul's blueprint and for you to be exactly who you're meant to be in the highest form you're meant to be in. And so there is a lot of misunderstanding and lower consciousness understanding because we're so attached to the physical body and what we're meant because of the projections from the collective are very low vibrational. There are such suppressions with the LGBTQT+. There's no voice for the LGBTQT+ at a higher vibrational experience. And there is a whole generation of beings that are far more comfortable in their translateral energies than we have ever been before in our generations before us. The first ones, because of my celestial DNA, I come from many different star systems. I have one of the most exclusive compounds, I guess, in my DNA of so many different star clusters, and it is to, I think, 41%. And so I'm very proud of that all the work that I've done. And that DNA activation allows me that more translateral fluidity so that when we are in 5D, we've been talking about this for some time, we become androgynous. It means that whatever body we choose, we'll be able to choose our bodies at that time. We'll be able to, birth about from an energy bubble as opposed to divine feminine's birthing through the womb. There's many things that we're going to be doing through just understanding of energy and the alchemizing of energy. Understanding who we are as soul beings. We are soul beings in a body. We've chosen sexual preferences as far as our gender identity, but that gender identity is going to be less and less important, and it should be less and less important because we are souls and we are meant to be translateral. And that translateral is androgyny. We're meant to feel ourselves as the highest version and vibration, and we're meant to go through that cycle of flow on however we want to express within the body that we're in, period. It doesn't matter about the parts that we have. We are meant to express ourselves in the bodies that we are in, however we choose. And it's up to nobody to decide for us. And that's the voice that's missing. So because there are so many people, I'm going to go back to now to keep weaving, and then I'm going to read my channeled material. It's so very exciting. I'm so very happy to take this up to a higher octave. And again, everybody take this information and just sit with it and offer yourself on how you have come as a divine soul, as a spirited soul of Source Creator. The body that you chose is meant to experience the idea of you being a spirited soul and how you're attracting and manifesting as a soul because you're constantly pulsating. The more that you know of thyself, the more that you love thyself, the more that you accept thyself, you're going to accept those equal opportunities of you. Now, whether we're talking, and we want to take this out of the context because I want to focus on being the spirit and the soul with a blueprint in the body that you're in, no matter what the body looks like. Whatever body you are in, you have a soul blueprint that can allow you translateral energy flow. That translateral energy flow allows you simply to express who you are in the highest form, whenever and however you so choose for the highest evolution of your soul. So write that down. That's an important context. Secondary. Whatever body you come in that fluid soul experience, if you're yourself and loving yourself in the body that you're in, whatever that expression might be, because I'm a divine feminine, but I possess a lot of divine masculine attributes because I'm the first divine feminine doing all the things that of the checklist the heavens show me. The first. I had to fight for my life. I had to fight for my rights. Nobody would have survived what I went through. So I needed that divine masculine strength. And I'm also presenting ideas and offerings that most of the misogynistic community of church and state will absolutely, as you see, will back and say no, they're denying it because they're still sitting in their misogynistic wounds. And many of them belong to sex cults because they're suppressed in their sexual energy. And many of these white-collar, middle-aged men that pretend that they're a mask on the masks of being a heterosexual person, their gay closet experiences because they're sexually repressed and depressed because they're not healing their wounds. So I want to take it to a higher level. Whatever you come in is connected to the DNA mapping. It's connected to your soul's destiny and your soul's blueprint source creator. The DNA allocation, where you come from, how you come from, the star beings, the celestials, the aliens, the hybrids, I'm a hybrid, right? So that has a higher translateral DNA mapping of the dominant genes you're going to need. I needed a dominant masculine energy in my blueprint. I needed it. I wouldn't have survived without the mapping I had. I first did a lot of repairs because what was done to me, there was a lot of things done that Source and my teams had to repair. But everything is aligned back to your soul's blueprint on how you need what you need, how you need, when you need it. And when you're activated, comes into your DNA. And if you're doing your integrations, that DNA will get activated and that light will open up so that you're now flowing a more harmonized translateral energy because you want to be healing your divine masculine, feminine energies at any time. Again, it doesn't matter the body you sit in. This is where the 3D consciousness is different from 5D consciousness. 3D consciousness as well, I must be a divine feminine masculine. So the immediate projections are your sexual preferences, are you're going to be at home with babies in the kitchen, or the projection. So we have to start healing these gender ideologies that are old school and not advanced. They're not high consciousness and they're not aligned with the soul's blueprint. There are many that are they call them transgender, but we just want to say translateral. You have the infinite flow of energy between your divine feminine masculine energies, which is a gift. It's a gift. It's a gift to be able to flow and have your divine feminine express itself in however it wants to, whatever body you sit within doesn't matter. I want to take the body out of it because that's where people get those projections of not fitting in or the projections of discrimination. And that's we each have bodies. We are each in meat suits. We are each in human experience. When we get to 5D, we can choose whatever we want. We can choose however we want. We can stay, ageless for as long as we want. That's the harmony with godliness. But we have to work through the issues of the discriminations and what trans really means and how do we come in the body that we come in and going through the lessons that we go through and facing the discriminations and facing the misogynies and facing the bigotries and facing all of the things that we face to take our voices away from us because everything on the outside has been discriminated and is in the projections of gender. What we are as gender, what we're told through church and state is who we're supposed to be attracted to and why and how. There's so much suppression out there, and that's originally what they showed me back in the 1950s with Eisenhower. These underground, secret clubs and secret sex things that they were doing were simply to hide and mask the issues and energies. This stuff has been going on, these secret sex clubs and these secret groups, and what they do in secret has been going on since the 50s because men have not been healed. They're not healing their energies and their sexual wounds about who they are and how they get to express themselves in whatever way they want to. So Spirit was also showing me that translateral, the idea of trans means that these beings are hybrids. It's connected to the hybrid DNA allocations. And these beings have an easier flow back and forth for the expression of their divine feminine masculine energies. Again, it doesn't matter the body you sit in. I have easy access to both divine masculine energies. If I'm in a boardroom with all men and I have to state my case something, I'm going to level up and I'm going to be equally divine feminine and equally divine masculine. And my point will be made and the spirit realm is standing right here. So I have to have that presentation. I have to have that presence of the heavens walking with me. And it is unfortunate that there are so many discriminations that LGBTQT plus have not been, they don't have a voice in the collective, and the leaderships of the countries are used and they're not aligned and they're not healed and they're going back and forth being just, arrogant people, pointing their finger and kind of dominating leadership, and that's not how you lead. You need to lead activity and understanding of higher vibrational ways that are aligned with the heavens. And do we really know what trans really means and where and how it's derived? It's derived right from the DNA. It's aligned with your soul's blueprint and why you're here. You're here to be that voice, and you're here to be that reflection of those that have those woundings of discrimination, and they're being suppressed in their lives, and they're living in their lives, and that's okay. That's how their choice is, and that's how their body is flowing. But the translateral just means that you want to express that certain energy in that certain, based on what your soul integration is having. Now, these generations are so far ahead of us, they're already partly unified in their divine feminine masculine energies. So who is it for anybody in the older generations to ever say or dictate or predominate what their even should be? So if we take gender preferencing right out of it, it solves a lot of issues, but people can do what they want. It's always their free will, right? But who is it for these people that are so advanced in the flowing energy? It's all about energy. If they want to express a divine feminine energy in their masculine body, that's their free will and that's their right. They can choose to call or prefer themselves as whatever they want, and they can choose to have a responsible, open dialogue in a sexual preference experience. Let's be open, let's be responsible, let's be creating this higher vibrational awareness of who we are as spirits and souls. So these people and these beings come in very higher vibrational already because they have that easier flow of energy as being divine masculine or divine feminine, whatever they want. So there are transgender that have a masculine body that want to prefer to express themselves as feminine because in their soul's blueprint at that time of the spiral of who they are as a soul, what their soul needs in that moment of time is what I want you to understand and take this slowly. Wherever you are vibrating right in there is what your body and your soul needs for its soul's experience, its soul's exploration, its soul's understanding of who it is as itself on itself. Because we're expanding consciousness. The body in that moment for that learning of the highest lesson needs to express itself in a divine feminine or masculine way. I'm always tested. God's always testing me. God's testing me in my divine feminine energies. God's testing me to sit back and allow. God's testing me to sit back and speak my voice and get in there. I'm tested in all ways of my divine feminine masculine energies. I'm constant going back up. From one day to the next, it's like, okay, what do you got for me today? Because there's so much in our collective that needs to be raising of the level of vibration of understanding. And then it can begin to have in the communities and in the provincial and legislative laws, we can have a higher vibrational understanding. We don't have to put anybody through derogatory testing or derogatory filling out of forms of what their gender is and is a psychological issue or isn't it? It's not a psychological issue unless, again, there are those states of consciousness where their parents chose on their behalf and they came in a body that their parents chose in different ways of, and there's various aspects and there's so many different dynamics in this beautiful experience that we call LGBTQT+. But we want to make it very clear, because every generation is going to be coming forward in more and more alignment of translateral unity of themselves. And so they did show me that in any cycle, in any spiral of whatever a soul is working on, this is why there's so many unhealed men that are in their middle ages and older, because they're completely sexually repressed. They have not explored their divine feminine energies at all. They have a very low consciousness of who they are as a divine feminine energy. And they've done a lot of underground things. And so that's coming out as well. It has to be healed. It has to be faced. It has to be looked at. The collective of our humanity has to look at. Who are we as divine feminine and masculine energies? We all come in a meat suit. It doesn't matter the body you come in. Each person's divine feminine masculine DNA coding, some of it is dominant and some of it is recessive in its planning, in its design. And that design is perfect to your soul's blueprint and why you're here, voice you're meant to have for your body, for your soul's experience only. So I'm coming forward and saying, well, throughout my life, I always loved sports and I always loved boys. I always, I always had my list of my favorite boys, and I would, we'd have fun little things, and it would just be, I've always been attracted to boys. I've been attracted to men, and I've always loved the divine feminine body, but my attraction has always been for men. I love that experience to be with a beautiful man that is very himself and is very attracted to the divine feminine body. But in my divine makeup, the DNA of me, God was showing me, of course, with the manipulations that were done. But God was showing me, no, my friend, and this is where I want you to say and write it down and have it 10 times as your affirmations. Your divine soul's blueprint will override everything that's done in 3D, which was important for me because the divine feminine, for divine feminine that I am to come across and succeed and accomplish all of the first that I have in this ascension cycle, bringing out corrupt cults, bringing out organized global hate groups, bringing out all of the things that I've had to, and do it on my own with no resources, no support. all these beautiful things that I've done, I've had to have a lot of that divine masculine recessiveness in my DNA coding so that there was a lot of pairing there of energies that I could float back and forth with. And it's really good that I've had a lot of ascension path work. What I teach is soul integration so that I could flow back and forth with my energies to heal myself. I had to heal myself through all the abuses and that I still have to heal from because there was just so much tampering with my life and so much suppressing of my life and suppressing my voice. So part of my role and my job in this collective is to bring forth the suppressed voice. Spirit did give me some, some sad visions that I had to heal, because it was just reflective of my voice that had been because I was expressing myself differently. The DNA allocation, DNA activations, when light hits that DNA to open up that codon, it is exactly equal to your expression of your soul. And this is where I've said every video I've talked about, and this is my work. Expression is everything to humanity's healing. So if that body, and if that soul, and if that spirit chooses to express itself in a divine feminine way, my God, express your feminine way. You're perfect. And if you need to stand up when you're the only one standing to say, stop the abuse, and you're the only divine feminine speaking it, and you have gangs and groups of 50 and 60 that are men and suppressed and not knowing who they are, and women that are jealous and envious because they don't know who they are, and they're debaucherous in the underground black webs because they're not healed in who they are, then you have to have that divine masculine energy to say, stop, enough is enough. And if you're the only one standing, then stand and express that divine masculine energy. And that's really what lateral is, and it is essentially androgynous because you cannot discriminations and the separations and the definitions that separate and create wars between who we are in any given moment that we need to feel what we need to feel, right? We're not healed unless we're feeling what we have to feel. We have to feel the suppressions. We have to what happened. We have to feel people making choices on our behalf. Like, who the hell are you? No, I'm a divine sovereign being. Nobody makes my choices sexually, physically, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually. Nobody touches my life or my soul or my name. And that's claiming that sovereignty. That is for the LGBTQ plus. In whatever way you have been taught and told or shown as trans, I want everybody that is LGBTQ plus to take it up to a consciousness level. Trans means the translateral energy that you can express in any moment from whatever body you sit in, and let the 3D matrix definitions and the 3D matrix ways float away because we're going to make new 5D ones. That is going to be uniformed in higher consciousness and aligned with the heavens. It's going to be aligned with your blueprint, and it's going to be aligned with the hybridization that you chose to come in. Because already you're a highly harmonized being if you're creating that expression and allowing yourself the expression of translateral energy. And don't you want to celebrate? Like, this is a huge, huge thing for humanity. It's huge. It's really, really huge. But what we want to say is that whatever is the outer projections and the outer ideologies and the outer definitions and the outer boxes people want to fit you in, it's no different than somebody that's high functioning, that goes to see how autistic they are or how autistic they're not. And they get put in these little boxes, and they're meant to, these little boxes say, well, to meet our normal standards, to meet the conformed normal standards of social ideologies, of church and state that have been the same for 5,000 years, we're not anymore. We're high vibrational celestial beings that have higher count of DNA in alien celestial experiences. We're hybrids, we're crystals, we're meant to transcend all of what is 3D. We're not meant to be placed in boxes so that we behave and we express ourselves. It's all about the expression. And if you express yourself in divine and sacred ways that are not understood in conformed experiences and by conformed church and state, then they'll want to do all that they can to suppress and take you down. That's been the experience of what has been happening. There has been planetary global targeting, unfortunately, because the expression is how you heal. The expression is who we become godly. The expression is who we become as our divine soul blueprint. And once you connect with that divine soul blueprint, there's nothing stopping you. So have translateral be the new description and be the new definition because it's aligned with your soul's blueprint. It's aligned with the highest version of who you are. And give yourself permission to express yourself in whatever way you need to. The caveat is, if you are doing so and allowing so and you love yourself so because you self-care and you self-love yourself and you know your divine soul blueprint, yeah, I got it. I can be divine, feminine, masculine, energy, whatever I want. Let's do this. And you are in union and harmony and you're co-creating with source every step of the way, your body will naturally sort out what it needs in any given moment. So just across that, I wanted to say it as well. well, because there's many LGBTQ plus that go through different therapies because they want to feel more in alignment of what they really feel as a divine feminine or masculine, whatever body they sit within. The only thing with that is that it doesn't allow your spirit and your soul to naturally harmonize and give you a higher homeostasis that's natural. Because you might be feeling before you take an operative experience or before you take therapy experience, which totally adjusts your DNA, it totally adjusts how you feel. That might be something that will just naturally work itself out once you start healing those soul integrations and once you start doing that path work. So that's the only thing, is when you take those therapies on top of the confusion that is in the outer and the projections that are in the outer, it can create a lot of confusion and a lot of misbelonging. And that's not necessary. We want to take it to a higher level. Your soul knows what it needs, and that's why your spiritual work with your teams and your ascension path work is so, because you can talk with your teams. Okay, I'm feeling this right now. What am I going through? Is there any you can help me with? Is there an alignment? Is there some sort of natural way that I can have those hormones be available to me? Whatever it is, and your teams will help you out whatever way, and it will be naturally, and it will be in a higher vibrational way. You don't have to take synthetic drugs. We want to really take you away from those drugs that affect the DNA makeup and the cellular makeup of who you are as a divine soul. So just about that, and just work through that, work through those energies and work through those. It's all about you belonging and accepting yourself in whatever body you're in, allowing the cycle of ascension to be whatever it is, for you to express however you need to express in a responsible and honoring way that's respectful to your soul and others. And that's being a higher vibrational consciousness co-creator with Source. So that's just taking things to a whole new level. And so is my channel. So translateral, it's a complex and dynamic form of higher dimensional 5D perspectives. Hybrid is the higher vibrational co-creation of the DNA activating within itself to become more of who you are in your celestial and alien DNA in the humanoid body. So that's what hybrid is. It means that we have a higher celestial activation within our DNA, and we express ourselves in different ways. We've always been higher expressive. We can run circles around most people. That's our expressive nature. That's just naturally who we are. I'm up and we are aligned with Source as a Source conduit. I'm aligned with the interfacing of Source based on whatever needs to be said or known, because the collective needs to hear higher vibrational wisdoms. And the Source will give it to those that are ready, because Source will give it to those that have had similar journeys of discrimination, of fitting in, of black sheep, of all the targeting that's been done, so that the voice can be heard in a way that is compassionate and honoring to the soul's blueprint. And we want to always take it up to the soul's blueprint. It's always your soul's blueprint. So allow your body to sort out when it needs to as naturally as it can, and then go through and really start connecting with your higher self and your spiritual teams. And if you want to book a session with me, you can do that. But everybody has spiritual teams that can assist them through the makeup and the navigation of whatever it is you're going through. That's their job, because they don't want you taking things that are going to be into your body and to your DNA makeup, which is celestial and alien, and it can cause a lot of harm. The synthetic drugs can cause a lot of harm to higher celestial bodies, and they know this. So, just be aware of that. But everybody is free will, so just do what you feel is necessary. I just want to take it a higher level of what your hybrid DNA, your hybrid species that you belong with in the galaxy and the universe. You've come into a body that is already translateral. So that's a really special gift. And because you also serve as a reflection to those that are highly, highly oppressed and still in their hiding and still in their bigotry and still in their discriminations. And that's okay too, because we all play that to each other. And so in lower vibrational ideologies have been stuck within the gender body that we sit within, and the perspectives of the ideology, i.e. divine masculine looking at divine feminine looking at divine masculine, and being in attraction that way, or sexual attractions that way. But there's other things that have to be healed, and there's people that do come with a higher count of DNA that's already translateral. So why can't they express themselves in divine feminine if they're in a divine masculine body? Why can't a divine feminine have a lot of divine masculine energy and still be beautiful in her feminine body? So there's a lot of ideologies and discriminations and a lot of church and state and Akasha and lineage and all of those familial things that we're brought up in that are just conformist and high advanced, and they're not high vibrational. It's discriminatory. So everybody's meant to share this video. Please share this video. Please share this video. It's about taking who we are to higher understandings, because it's all about the DNA. Make no mistake about it. What I'm saying today is everything to do about your DNA, the makeup of who you are as a universal being. And DNA gets activated, you're going to be pulling up those soul fragments to be healed, and you need to express yourself in whatever way you can in a responsible and honoring way that is in alignment with Source and you. I want to take you back to Source's blueprint with you and why and how you are the way that you are, how you are, and how you need to express yourself. The expression of who is everything. So never play bowing to the out on how you should express yourself. Always be unique in your expression, and God will lift you tenfold. I'm here only because of the hand of God. The only reason why I do anything is because the hand of God has forced people to return what they stole and what raped from me and fabricated and defamed the countless things that were done. But it's because I stood in my power every step of the way, and I'm not going to let go of my rights are. I don't deserve to be subjugated to such horrible abuse just because people don't understand my expression. Okay, so how about you go get healed? But how is there a law that says because I am who I am, kill me and take all my money and keep me in suppression so I never express myself and no one sees me? It's insanity. There are dominant and recessive genes within everybody's DNA. You are born within is directly related to what you're here to express yourself as a unique soul, a mind soul's blueprint with you and Source Creator and your creative collective. Again, it's the Sacred Trinity. There are new hybrid programs for the overall, and whatever is needed to be shaken up, you are meant to express that in the moment so that all can feel and see and be in that unique vibration expression. Remember, me expressing myself through light language, me expressing myself through the modalities that I do and I say, and I'm a creative genius. All the things that I create, there's most people that just can't keep up with it, but that's okay. Their consciousness isn't there. My consciousness is activated over 41%. So that means I've got a lot of consciousness that I've integrated, the soul fragments I've integrated just about up to 50%, which is then moving into 5D. And that's when your whole light body, the Merkaba, kicks in, and that's when you're fully androgynous because you've integrated all your divine feminine, all your divine masculine energies, and you're more translateral. So these being the beings that express themselves, they have the expressive acceptance within themselves to express how they need to in that moment. And it's up to nobody to determine and want them to determine their gender or their prince. But again, it's everybody's free will. If they want to have that determination and gender preferencing, that's up to them. But there needs to be uniformity of higher consciousness about this whole topic. Right now there isn't. It's absolutely zero intelligence. It's all about, it's not uniformed at all. And any state that you talk to has a different process for understanding transgender. And there that will consider it a psychological issue, and it's not. And again, it also goes back to everybody's experience because some parents have chosen on behalf of their child. So those are very complex issues, and they have to be taken with great compassion and consideration. And they have to be treated as a vibrational teacher, healer, and leader so that they can see into the Akasha and look into the blueprints, can feel more at ease and more acceptance of who they are. Because even if they chose that body to be whatever it is, and they chose the parents that chose whatever decision, they still chose to be a part of that very complex soul contract. And they're here to magnify their soul's journey, the expression. When I say magnify, I mean expression. So that person's voice in the collective is very, very profound and powerful because it's different than the Aboriginal women that have been sterilized so they won't have babies. And whose decision was that? And how inhumane is that? It's no different than the high functioning wanting to place us in little boxes so that we behave like everybody else in the collective. We're not like everybody else in the collective. So we got to stop wanting to make these low box definitions and low box consciousness modalities of standardization. We're not meant to be, we never were. That's why more and more generations are coming out as more fluidic with their gender exploration. And we want to take gender and sexuality out of the box. If you are an advanced soul, you're going to be very fluid with what you find attractive. I'm a beautiful goddess and I can find many women very attractive. It doesn't mean I'm going to engage in a sexual experience because my soul preferences are for the masculine. Because that's just where I get really excited. I get really excited about a masculine experience. That's harmonize. I want to harmonize with that masculine energy because it allows my divine feminine to come forward in all of its glory. And so, but you have to take those to a new high vibration experience and really put it on the table. That's your ascension path work. Put it on the table. If I'm going through an ascension experience, how translateral am I? If it's called for and needed, can you be in your divine masculine energy when it's needed? Your teams will be testing you. And that's what's being in alignment with your teams. And that's why I empower all light workers and all of those that have been doing the same thing at work. I'm empowering you all to get in your communities and be different. I'm empowering you to take up different skills and tasks and initiate yourself with your higher teams to get in the community. How can you be there for those that are LGBTQ+ and be a voice and a sound? How can you assist them in creating uniformity that is respectful and honoring, and giving that person and their soul and their expression and their gift and their soul's puzzle piece with God, Source Creator. Nobody has a right to dictate anything about anybody's soul or body. Spiritual expression, period. So we want to take these up to higher vibrational experiences. Okay, so here's the channel from the Arcturians. We are entering into a new space-time of galactic ecology. So write these words down because they're activating. Galactic ecology. This is a very special spice of ethereal and celestial energy that is bathed on all of you and your universal legacies, holding you through very important global shifts of consciousness. So the global universal families are holding each and every one of us, because I can feel it. They're holding you through these energetic shifts into new timelines, into new experiences. So again, your highest timeline, attention, direction, and focus is going to be really key. And we've all felt it, right? Because I guess it's still the spring. Hello, it's the spring equinox, and we're preparing us for a big summer. Thank you, Holy Spirit. So they're helping us move us. We're in the hands of our celestials, and they said universal legacies. So that's our celestial families. Just want to confirm my wording here because I'm channeling this information. So their wording is a lot different. And why the earthly lifetimes will be seen so vital to all of you and your soul's journey. Again, we're talking about the soul. We want to keep returning you back to your soul. Your soul's experience, your soul's expression, your soul's journey, and the puzzle piece that you are is so very important to the soul blueprint that you're here to express. Right? You're here to liberate the collective through you. You have many beings helping you in these very sets of human celestial codings that are being bathed on your planet in this time, and through various forms and tools that we use to help you progress in your journey into full light evolution of 5D. There are such vibration portals and grids, as well as us working directly with you in the ethers or in your dream time. And there are also those beings on your planet that are assisting you in the different roles that each and every one of you will step into. There are healers, teachers, and vibrational spiritual conduits, as of myself, that are here to offer universal and universal extensions of energy. We have extensions of honoring, of the knowing of higher realms, and the remembrances that we trigger within you in any one of our videos or sacred offerings that are authentic and genuine, because that's just who I am. I just love teaching on these beautiful things that are never talked about before in this way. It makes me really excited. So the conduits that are before you, the vibrational conduits like myself, I'm a vibrational source conduit for the multiverse, and everything that I bring forward with intention is for the activations of the codes and the energies that the beings that are up there, they said the celestial legacies, are bathing through me, and then I send forward to you because I'm offering source expression energies. Therefore, that's then you remember after the fact, if you will, and you listen to the video a couple of times and you write the words down and you think about where did I discriminate and how did I gender myself and how did I do this, and you're actually working and you're doing your inner work, you'll wake up the next day different because you've done the inner work, you've done that processing, you've done that integration of those energies. Plus, I'm offering codes in every vibrational video that I offer you because I'm so excited to be me. And all of that you've wanted to play as in the role that you are within your soul's blueprint. Remember, your soul's blueprint is the highest excitement of who you choose to be with Source Creator and your creative collective. So you're going to bring forward all of your ancient timelines, all of your celestial timelines, and as you're integrating, that DNA goes up 41% or 30%, whatever your DNA is, you're integrating the earth and the heavens with you, and that's why we're creating heaven upon earth, the more that we're created. That's really important that you get that, and why your soul's blueprint is so important. Your unique soul's expression, just you, your authentic, genuine expression, just you, no matter what others think of you, no matter what others portray and target you, your soul's expression of being exactly who is exactly what's needed. And so we wanted to bring a higher vibrational understanding of trans and it being translateral, because it is the fluidic movement of the energy going back and forth through the axonal lines of the body of the DNA. And how you're meant to express in any moment is up to you and your soul's journey. Right? And you're advancing all of creation and doing so authentically. So just know. And we are evolving humanity peacefully through the dynamic understandings of who you are in the grace of who you are. So write that with bold letters. I express myself in who I am as source. I express myself in the grace of who I am as source. And the grace of source is that it's full unconditional acceptance. That's what grace is. God loves you unconditionally. God will always provide grace. God loves you in your expressions. Even when I come forward and say, Spirit, I'm going to come forward and I'm speaking the truth of my spirit, and I can't do this. I'm calling judgment. I'm calling uncle. And I speak it with grace. I said, the grace of my body, spirit, and soul, I can't do this. This is disrespectful. I'm not going any further with this. And I stand up for my soul, and spirit wants that. Sovereignty I've earned. That's my ranking. So the heavens want to see you in certain cases fight for your soul and its survival, fight for your soul and its evolution. No, this is what I need for my soul to evolve and be my highest best. I need a safe home, and I need resources to help me support and create the illustrations, and to create the teachings, and to create the teachings that I want to travel and I want to meet people with. This is what my soul needs, Spirit. So do whatever you need to do to make it happen, and Spirit will move things out of the way. You got to fight for that, for your soul. Right? So whether it's LGBTQ plus saying we need standard arms that are more respectful to our soul's journey, then that's what's needed. Then be that voice. Because you know your journey more than anybody, and your voice is needed. So I'm empowering all of you. So to express myself with grace in the soul contract with me and Source, as my Source is my, Source is my beacon. Right? Never ever suppress your expression. Our beliefs, patterns, and perspectives into a more harmonized wholeness. That's what translateral is, harmonized wholeness of the energies, so that you are a balanced human being, and you've cleared and you've integrated the divine feminine masculine energies of repression and discrimination. The more repressed and the more fragmented, the more confused, lost that you will feel, as if you're not belonging and you're not fitting, because you haven't fit and belonged within yourself. So again, giving yourself those higher vibrational explanations and understandings will really release a lot of stress, right? The process of awakening will have each and every one of you hit walls, if you will, because this new energy is here to sort out and allow you a new version of yourself that your body and your soul aches for. So yourself to be new. So what was working before, and the patterns and the cycles that you behaved within, beliefs that you behaved within, remember the infinity, there is the negative, the neutral, and the positives. So if you're always navigating in the negative, your soul will make you hit those walls, so that you look at what you're doing, why you're doing it. Is there a higher vibrational way that I can move forward? Is there a higher vibrational instrument that I can use? And Spirit gave me this, the Arcturians gave me this many years ago, the higher vibrational infinity loop. And where you sit in a 3D experience, where you sit in a 5D experience, is all about your entrainment, about your beliefs on who you are, what you exist within. And a lot of it is the socio-ecological and the socio-financial, projections at you, and your familial projections. There's so many wounded people out there. So it's about time to release the wounding and say it's okay to talk about these things, and let's start exploring how I can heal beyond what I'm feeling at this moment. You're meant to feel more translateral. You're meant to feel expressive and androgynous in your energies, so that you can heal what needs to be healed and allow yourself to stand fully in your vessel, no matter what vessel you come in, and be whatever energy you need to in any moment. That's androgyny. Where all bodies are beautiful. And then you can feel free to have whatever sexual expression is responsible and done in a responsible way that is co-creative with both people. You're being open and honest, right? Honesty is pivotal, because otherwise you're fooling yourself and you're going to run back into negative karma, because you're not living in your truth. So it has to be done in a higher consciousness way. We want to empower everybody to be higher consciousness. Speak your truth. Speak of what you want to experience. Speak your truth about what you want to explore sexually or in a higher consciousness way. You want to express yourself in a divine feminine energy, so allow yourself to be healed, allow to be given to, allow yourself to be loved, allow yourself to be nourished, allow yourself to just sit and wait, allow to relax. That's the divine feminine energy. Allow yourself to be intuitive, allow yourself to give healing to others. That's in divine feminine energy. And so healing that and aware of that is powerful, right? And you're doing it in an honoring and respect way. And the awakening process will have you hit walls, and it's very purposeful that you do this, because it's meant for you to sit down and ask questions. Where do I go as I empowered all light workers? If you've been doing the same thing for 3 or 4 years, you need to sit and you're going to hit a wall. You have to hit a wall because you want to go to that next level. You want to raise your vibration higher. You want to get in the community, see what needs to be done in the community, and get in, right? So there will be the walls that will be hit, because there is higher light that is bathing on the human collective right now, and there will be mass awakenings when the old ways of being will no longer satisfy the soul. It craves more deeply, and it craves more belonging within its soul experience. Because remember, all those soul fragments, when you start integrating them, you become a grander soul. You become a grander soul. That's what I mean by the 41% activation. Your codons are more activated now, so it wants to belong more to itself, which is fullness and oneness. Right? Many powerful learnings today. I was so happy to bring this forward. You want to have a deep belonging to yourself, and that's what's called full belonging and harmony. And when you get to 51%, that's when your Merkaba is totally fully activated and you can traverse anywhere you want in the universe because you've activated your DNA. And you belonging to all aspects of yourself, and there's no part of yourself that you've discriminated. Consciousness is the awareness of your growth within yourself and the all. So every day, who am I within the all? What is my expression within the all? How can I be more of myself within the all? How can I speak my truth within the all, the 3 E's? The more that you reflect and observe and have that daily introspection, you can allow yourself higher consciousness and grow within it. Who am I right now? And where am I sitting within my consciousness, within the source creator? Am I aligned with my highest soul's blueprint? And every 3 months, have that communication with the karma board. What do I need to forgive debt with? What do I need to help others with? What do I need to conversations? That's a highly evolved soul. You're standing up for yourself and saying, no, I'm not going to do that. I have no excitement in that. I'm going this way. You have to have those moments where you do stand up with your teams and say, not at this time. And then like last night, Spirit was saying to me, and talk about this, I'm not sure if I'm going to get time, but I'll just say it really quickly. We've talked about this before on my video about your teams have access to erase memory. If it's holding up your path of evolution, or it's holding you in shame or guilt. Shame or guilt will block you having love and abundance come in. So you have to heal those shame and guilt issues, flow of energy to continue in a higher resonance of 5D light, because we're entering 5D light now. This is what they're talking about. And so understanding those shame and guilt energies, and some of those shame and guilt energies were projections from the dysfunctional families that we were brought up in, right? Because they didn't understand us and they were just projecting their hate and their sense of self on us, right? The sociopathic narcissist, where nothing's fault and everybody is to blame for their, dysfunction. All of those energies have to be healed first, and there's a lot of emotional trauma and mental trauma that was caused in early childhood, even sexual trauma for incest and rape, that has to be healed with, that are connected with shame and guilt, because all of those experiences take them on as it must have been my fault, and I had this clearing the other day, last week, and it was like I just came out crying, just purging this childhood wounding about why are they abusing me? I don't understand why they're abusing me. What did I do? I didn't do anything, right? But because they were so wounded and they were so broken and torn, their of not accepting themselves was seeing me in my full expression of who I was. So I was that pure expression and they were the impure expression. And so they just targeted and they abused me, which is reflective on the abuses that these people are doing now that don't even know me. I'm just being a good person, the person that I can be, and I'm being the best version that I can be. But there's still just abuses of hate and attacks because that's where their wounding is. And so all of those purgings and those cleansings came out from the earlier childhood actions that needed to be healed. And so my team said to me, well, God has given us permission to erase a couple of these memories, and we want you to be involved, and we want you to know about this. This is the relationship I have with my teams. I know about everything that they do. And so I implore you to get really in touch and in tune with your body and your teams, because you can have that higher vibrational and higher conscious dialogue. Nobody teaches on the planet the way I teach. Nobody offers what I offer. Nobody brings forward what I bring forward, because I have such a unified connection with my teams and my celestials. And God, Mother, Father, God are with me every step. And if I ask Father to come in for a statement, Father will come in and Father will take me aside and walk with me and teach me, and I'll get the left Father, because the Father has a direct plan for me. And so the Father said, yes, you can take those memories because they're causing her far too much pain and she's done enough clearing. So this is where I want you to understand. Nobody on the planet, nobody in 3D ever has permission or right, and nor do they have the expertise to do anything to do with your mind or your memory. They just don't. Never ever think or never ever be involved with communications about erasing memory, blocking third eyes, or your spiritual awareness. Those are corrupt groups, as they did with me. The feds were involved. That was the channel they gave me last week. The feds were involved in targeting my third eye to block it so that I wouldn't remember what had happened to me, deeds that they had done. And those were channels right Source. And it's all, Source is going to bring it out. Source will bring everybody out. The people that were involved, there's lots of whistleblowers coming forward now, because there was 50 or more people that knew what was going on, and the targeting, sabotaging, taking money to take me out, and taking money to suppress me, taking money to silence me, taking money to make sure I'd never been seen, taking money to make sure I would never receive money, taking money to make sure I would never receive love. I mean, there was everything that was done to me. The abuses were just horrible. So Spirit said, this is where I want you to get clear and get very pure about how Source is with you every step. Source looks at your soul blueprint. Source knows who you are in your DNA. Source knows everything. Source knows your activation. Mother, Father, God know the work you've done. Mother, Father, God know every tear you've cried. Mother, Father, God, the prayers you send out to the children. Mother, Father, God know the prayers you send out to the water. Mother, Father, God will say, God gave us permission to erase these couple of memories that are holding this back, the guilt and the shame. We're going to erase them because you've done this much work in guilt and shame in this area. It might not have been directly to these woundings, but we're going to erase these memories so that you can allow the greater flow of abundance and flow of love to your heart. But this is why nobody teaches and nobody offers what I do, because I'm so connected. I'm so threaded. I am so interfacing with God, and my teams is me. So when they are doing something and they're working on my brain and stuff, I know it. And they're saying they're going to try and block your third eye, do your protection. They'll tell me when there's attacks going on. They tell me when the new moon and the full moon death attacks go on, and I'm protected, and the ant's protecting me, and it's going right back to the people that are sending it. There's still damage that was done to me. But that's where Source steps in, and Source looks at the whole gamut. Source looks at everything and everybody, because Source is everybody. Source knows exactly what's been done to me, exactly how much work, and exactly what I've been through, exactly how many days I haven't eaten. I haven't eaten for like 5 days. And then I had a couple of days of eating, and then before that I went 15 days without eating. Just because the monies that were supposed to come in haven't come in, and I don't get, they're supporting me on every level. My platform is still at 2,000K. I don't ever reach the numbers of monetization. While all people that I'm connected with in the light community, they're all growing by 2,000 a week, 2,000 subscribers. I'm the only channel that has not grown. And YouTube will have a lawsuit. I will press criminal charges on YouTube. And they are being investigated, by the way. It's nice. So conduits are based on their unique soul's blueprint. So I just want to say that about your anything that goes on with your brain and the memories are so important, because the memories are what you heal. Because remember, we talked about in other videos, memories are not really what you think. They're not held in your brain. But there are aspects of the brain that have to be enhanced and modified as you're going through Ascension, because your DNA is activated, which activates all the light, and everything in your brain does have to be shifted, because we're not going to be linear anymore. And those memories that will spiral of now, so that you're pulling in that integration of wounding, and you're integrating it, and you're accepting it into the whole self, and you love yourself in those moments that were not it was not your fault, right? Shame and those abuses were not your fault. So you have to accept it and bring it in. You're bringing in those really horrible experiences. You say, I can own that. I'm going to love my child. I'm going to love the inner child that got wounded. It's unfair. Those were not my being incest and being raped and being all of those things. It wasn't your fault. And so it's really important that you own that, and you integrate those soul fragments. But God is the only one that gives permission to have those memories taken. Because I said to Spirit, well, I'm going to be writing books down the road, and I'm going to be offering those experiences as helpful healing experiences. Please please take and leave what I need for my books and for my teaching. And so is that, right? So God says, yes, we're going to leave those energies that you'll need to help others heal through their shadow. So I'm helping you heal your shadow. I'm helping you heal those soul fragment integrations, helping you realign. If you're a dark occultist and a dark practitioner, you have to realign and alter course, otherwise you're going to remain in lower entropy. And that's your choice. We've given you full notice. We've given everybody full notice on what's going to happen. We've been warning people for 3 years. If you practice dark spell work on others, if you interfere with others' soul's blueprint, you will be affected negatively in your karma, point blank. Whether you're an Eastern Star, whether you're a warped Mason, whether you're a warped witch, whether you're a warlock, doesn't matter what you are. You're not healed. You're doing what you're doing because of your, and you will be negatively affected, and you will sit in your karma of every deed that you have sent out to other people. You just will. And that's where everything in the communities right now, God said that my case will be known globally, and I will take my case and I will teach it globally on how to help people heal through their shadow fragments. That is Ascension. That's the pathwork we've been talking about for 17 years. And my channel has been silenced because I teach you how to become godly. I teach you the essence of Source and how to become godly. And God is the only one that has authority to take those memories, because your soul blueprint is what? Godly. God is the only one that gives permission to take those memories from your mapping. It's your mapping. I see it. It's just like a crystalline interfacing, and your teams on behalf of God will allow those memories to be lit and removed. They're bathed with light and they're removed. So that on the spiral of now, you don't have to go back to that memory. And you work with your teams to say, can you please release this memory? I have done my healing. I've done my integration. I've learned so many lessons. This needs to be released. But that's you taking commandmentship and sovereignty, and that's what I've taught over 17 years. I'm the only one that teaches what I teach. Nobody brings forth the interfacing of the collective on source creator messages of eternal truth that I do. I am the only one. God has gifted this to me because of my ancient and my celestial and multiversal work on behalf of the multiverse and the divine programs of light. So thank God for that. And I'm going to keep standing in my power. I'm a divine feminine goddess. I'm ready for a new life. I'm ready for a new partner. I'm ready for a new divine masculine. Is absolutely standing in his power, because we're going to change the world. And there's nothing that any 3D person can stop. There's nothing that any church and state can stop. There's nothing. The trillion behind me in my soul's purpose, because I'm a great fucking healer. And I can teach anybody to come out of the darkest places. I know who I am. I've always known who I am. And they've done everything possible, and they've paid millions to have me stopped. And there will be lawsuits on every person right up to the fucking dog. So you better get your court cases and your briefcases out, cowboys, because right up to the top, I'm taking you to criminal court. Nobody had a right to fabricate my birth information. Nobody had a right to put me in these programs and projects. There was no signed authority and there was no permissions on any level, and then continue it through my 50s, and then pay secret societies and little secret clubs and secret sex clubs to destroy my life inside and out. And these vampires will not stop until there is death. And I'm telling the authorities and I'm telling the leaders of the countries, at what point will you allow higher light wisdom teachings to be the topic of the day? Because there's people dying all over it's unnecessary. The children have nowhere to be guided to because it's unnecessary. They're not being guided in higher form. The trans people have been left out because they're not being guided in higher form. They're already coming as higher vibrational beings, and they're being squashed and silenced. And who are you, leaders, to build the bridge of peace and unity? And I state with great claim on this day, in these days, the coming change will be that will be unified, and the hearts of humanity will be unified, because there will be new leadership in place. And this is my word. This is my command. And as I speak, Spirit is. There will be not raping and harvesting and taking and binding and selling and betting of life or ground. It will be pulled up on every cult and every sect and everything that thinks are secret and hidden and not seen. Everything is everything. Everything is everything. Everything is seen. And you are known throughout the multiverse, and you will not continue to abuse life. Period, point, fucking blank. And there will be nobody that will stop my path of progression and growth and evolution, and I will lead humanity into the highest liberation. And anybody with a shadow that chooses to heal it, come and stand before me, and you will be touched. The hand of God is with every word that I speak. Make no mistake that your life will be changed. The soul of all those that so choose to heal and choose to be new and be their highest version of expression, they will be healed. And that is their purity of intention, and nothing stop that purity of intention to evolve beyond limitation, discrimination, and all that is subjugation. Who are we, divine leaders of tomorrow? I'm asking the healers and the teachers and the leaders and the oracles, stand up and be new. Get to your communities and put your hands into the communities. You are needed. There are going to be mass awakenings. There are teachers going to be needed on every corner of this planet. Who are you? We've trained you for a very long time. Stand up in the power of who you are, in the spirit of who you are. Unity consciousness is all things. You are all things. You are all beings. You are all life. Who said you weren't? Be ecstatic about it, and your expression is everything. Express it. Be divine. Be unified. Be grounded. Be peaceful. Be harmonious. And build bridges, dear lighted ones. That is what heaven on earth is it not? Love of all things, of all life, and none shall stop any. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you. And so we want to move this along. So access to the realm. So this is what conduits do. We have access based on their unique divine soul's blueprint. Again, their DNA allocation, how much they have activated, how much they have come into alignment with. Their DNA activation is their soul's blueprint. It is the design of their soul, where they have been, how much they've experienced. The DNA codons can activate your celestial or your earthly timelines or anything else that you've ever belonged with. That is your soul's DNA. That's your DNA blueprint. It's there. There is no such thing as junk DNA. So release all of those things. There is no such thing as junk DNA. You just haven't activated it. And you activate it by adding your soul fragments. You have access, conduits have access to the other realms, and we trigger people by standing before them in our light and in our fullest expression, in our genuine and authentic expression, by activating who we are in the remembrance of who we are, and integrating and accepting who we are authentic and appreciatively as the grace of Source Creator, as the grace of the expression of Source Creator. And we allow those before us to also be equally activated if they so choose. It's always a personal journey. We are channeling, such as myself, a very specific star codes because I have a lot of clusters of stars in my DNA. So I have star DNA. So that means when I'm before people and I'm speaking of certain things, I'm bringing higher consciousness because of my experiences. There is what they've called is a universal or a galactic ecology that is offered through my vibration, through my speech, through being in my energy field, right? Because I am a part of the galactic celestials. I'm a hybrid. And I've activated a lot of my DNA. So the more DNA I activate, the more celestial energy I give out. And that's why more creativity, because celestials are highly creative. We're connected with Source in a higher vibrational way. And so that's, again, where the 5D alignment, vocational alignments that I offer are really going to be important. So again, any donations, any sessions, please just go to PayPal. I'm really in need of finances and resources right now to rebuild my life, and all of it has been out of whack because people have been refusing to pay. So any donations, I would really, really appreciate it. And sessions booking for 5D alignment, to align your business with 5, I would really suggest that quickly because we are going to be moving over the summer very quickly, and there's going to be mass awakenings that are going to need a lot of people to level up their business and level up their creativities and level up all that they're doing in the creative collective. So we have a variety of multidimensional energies and codes to those that so desire, that come to the channel, come to the videos or the classes or the healing sessions, through which you will be prepared in different ways that are aligning with your soul's blueprint. There are unique packets of gifts within each and every one of you, is aligned within the DNA itself, and every time a codon is activated, you have access to those unique packets of gifts and skills and talents that are multiversal. And this is why many of you are learning about the new understandings about trans, and what that means is a hybrid being, because you have access to the going back and forth, whatever body that you're in. And then you just need to move about your life responsibly and respectfully to say, this is what I want to express and I want to receive right now. I want to explore this sexually. I want to express this sexually. And then you be expressive and open in that and responsible in that. And the people that I know that are trans that are doing that, they are very respectful, very open, and they're very, very honoring in how they want to express themselves. And so I congratulate them and I just lift them so high because they are in a discriminatory experience and their voices are not being heard because the systems are just so far behind in consciousness. And so it's nobody's fault. We just need to begin somewhere. So I'm glad that I'm for the very first time. And so the channeler and the healer that is before you, not all healers are the same, not all channelers are the same. Some are I'm a vibrational channel. I offer codes when I channel. I offer light language when I channel. I offer activations when I channel, and that is with God. That is my contract with Source Creator as being a conduit. That's why when I'm given these special topics to bring forward and to offer, I do a ceremony before so that the highest codes are offered in the highest level of respect for the creative collective, because I'm above the collective and the heavens. And so that's just part of my work. And so I teach all this that are healers, teachers, and leaders that want to advance and bring their levels of healing and teachership to a new level. Conduits offer a spice. There's certain codes and certain energies, and that a lot have celestial DNA or alien DNA or extraterrestrial DNA. That is just the beginning of our journey. And as we come forward in the unique expression, the authentic expression, and remember authenticity. You're not here to be like anybody else, to express yourself like anybody else. You're only here to be your authentic expression. That's what a lot of the experiences is that we were talking about. Because however your body, however your cycle of experience needs to express it right now, it doesn't matter what body you're in, you need to be able to express that in what way it needs to for the full journey of your soul. And again, remember, if there is that confusion or you want that alteration of HRT, that kind of thing, then I suggest just going back within and being with your guides for a good 6 months before you choose any HRT therapy. Because then you're going to allow your body its normal homeostasis to find its new pattern of fitting in, feeling in yourself. Because you want to feel fully accepted within yourself, whatever body you're in, before that's altering your chemistry, right? Because the synthetic drugs do alter your chemistry. And so we want to be very careful about that. But we need higher vibrational understanding. We've got to start somewhere. So how, what, and why, and when your DNA is activated is all through your higher self. Remember, doing Ascension pathwork with your higher self is pivotal. As I have a higher connection with my higher self, I told you about that memory. And Spirit also too, because they tried to do this to me too. They tried to take away my memories of all the things they were doing. And Spirit said they're not going to, Spirit, They are not going to allow your memories to be taken from something that they've been doing. Their spirit has control over that. Again, your soul's blueprint supersedes everything. Your soul's blueprint overrides everything. So if I'm meant to be a 5D and spiritual leader and spiritual healer and teacher to the collective on masses, Spirit's not going to allow 3D dummies that want to play in their wounding and want to be forever non-accountable because they're doing inhumane targeting programs at official levels and they're refusing to do right and they're refusing to make right. Spirit is going to allow these people their way. It's ridiculous. These 3D people think that they are superseding God's divine soul blueprint for anybody is beyond. They have no connection with source. They have no connection with their higher self. They have no connection with spirit. They have no connection with anybody. They're just working in that cult experience of wanting to dominate and handle those that are coming because they know too much. They want to suppress the ones that know, want to stop the ones that know too much. They want to silence the ones that know too much. And you simply can't, won't. You're not going to supersede anybody's soul blueprint. So stand in your authenticity. Stand in the vibration of who you are as a genuine being. And let source teams in your ancestors, you ask for that help. I'm asking for help to release these people from my energy field, release these people from my soul stories. I've healed these stories. They're released in forgiveness. They are released in all karma with me. I want nothing to do with these people and let source teams take care of them. And as I said, every 3 months, have that discussion with your higher self, your teams, and karma board. What is it you're working on to bring balance to your karma? Can you forgive debt in whatever way you can? Can you forgive and release debt from anybody that is owing you in any way that you can? And do that every 3 months. And that allows your karma to be as absolutely clear as possible. And then do your daily ascension path work. Your daily ascension path work is you loving you. It's you bringing all those soul fragments and all those soul woundings and all those people said you didn't fit and blah, 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 fucking blah. Okay, well, I don't want to fit with you. Did you ever think about that? I didn't ask to be a part of your club. Don't want to be a part of your club. Clearing old beliefs and your releasing of the low vibrational thoughts, beliefs, and patterns that are socio-economic or lineage or familial. All of those things need to be released and looked at every day. And this is why you integrate. And this is why the Celestials at this time are holding each and every one of you. So ask to connect with them every night. I say do your healing every night. Talk to your teams, what did they call them? The legacies. Your universal legacies. And those are your universal families that are helping you because there's a lot of celestial energy and light on the planet, and there will be mass awakenings, which will remind yourself of how translateral and alien and celestial and hybrid you are. I'm the only one that talks about your DNA allocation. Your DNA allocation is exactly on the species evolution of species coming into Christed consciousness light that we touched on in our last video, so go watch our last video. I'm the only one that talks about DNA allocation. Because I'm of the hybrid light program of evolution for the Father's plan. And this is why certain topics are only given to me. The suppressed voice in our collective, whether it be a divine, feminine, spiritual leader, Messiah, whether it be a masculine in a transgender experience right now, and they're looking for their voice, and we want to release gender. Gender is secondary to your soul, so be translateral. Be fluid in the energy moving back and forth to your axional lines and who you are as a divine feminine masculine energy, because you are. Every human is divine feminine, divine masculine, period. You just have with makeup a dominant and a recessive experience to exactly what your soul's blueprint is. If you need a divine masculine energy, and it will, if it's like for me, my divine masculine energies will ease off. I'm moving into a divine union. Because I don't have to be that divine masculine fight or flight and fight for my life every minute for 50 years. I've had to fight for my life for 50 years. I've been attacked spiritually for 50 years. I've been in spiritual warfare for fucking years. I've transmuted the darkest demons that are ever conjured. Even demons you don't even know about, they've been throwing them at me. And especially on new moons and full moons. So as Spirit said to me yesterday, there is no way that anybody should survive what I went through. There's no way. And these people intended me to suffer. They intend for me never to have money, never to eat. They intend for me never to be in a home. They intend for loved. They intend to me never to have the destiny that I was written because I've earned it. And that is their wounding because they're in full unacceptance of who they are. And so I'm in acceptance of who I am, and I'm going to fucking great as I am right now. So again, if you allow your soul's blueprint just to say honor with your body, to say, I'm tired of the fight or flight spirit, can you just please have someone come in and give to me? because I want to be in my divine feminine energy. I'm imploring all of you to work with your divine, know where your energies are. Like I said to Spirit, I'm ready to receive now. I'm ready to be nourished. I'm ready to be healed. I'm ready to be loved. I need to be in my divine feminine energy. I've had enough. Because you can't be imbalanced that way. That's why the spirits and the ancestors are kicking ass right now. There's going to be people leaving the planet right and center because of the abuses done to me, because they just refuse to make right. And the ancestors are just plucking. They've had enough time. They refuse to give back. They refuse to bring truth. And so Spirit's just said, God has given authority. So that's what and God said that my case will be a global presentation to the entire world to learn about up your consciousness level on higher spiritual order, on higher spiritual laws, on the energy, the abuse of dark occult energy, how the governments and how secret societies and elites have been having secret agendas to keep certain people silenced and because they're living off of their monies and their inheritance and off their energies with elite soul harvesting, mind scraping, all the things that have been done, inhumane targeting. And it has to be understood at a global level, how and why these people choose secret societies and cults, how and why people have money to take an innocent healer out. There's 50 people involved and all 50 people are getting karma. Doing nothing and not coming forward when you know somebody's being abused and attacked is the same equal karma. Businesses will be sued, banks will be sued, cities will be sued. There's not going to be anybody that's going to be left out. And Spirit, right now, they showed me this morning, God is seeing the thumb on each and every one of them, and all of them involved, because it has to be a story for the entire collective. Every secret society, every mafia group, every person that is affecting and interfering with somebody's soul blueprint and somebody's soul destiny, they have no right. It's between that person and God. And God will keep pressing on every single person so that no money comes in, no health comes in, no finances come in, but whatever that person finds important, that will not come in and they will be blocked. That's why every one of them right now are scrambling. They're in disease, they're in poverty, they're losing houses, they're losing their jobs, they're losing their lives, and people all around them are dropping. Because the return of their magic, the return of their voodoo, the return of their deeds, they're sitting in the mess they created. Because they had taken out so many people before me and worked until they got to me. And God planned that. There was enough evidence and there was enough information and there was enough time that these people had to change. And these people were given grace by God. These people were given so much grace, 3 years. They were told for 3 years to stop doing what they were doing and return their monies. Stop doing what you're doing in my birth records. They were all told and they all knew. That's why I produce my videos. Go back to my videos. Go back to my videos. They are true predictions. And in these coming days, it will be seen across the world. Everything that I've been saying is 100% accurate, and right up to the top fucking dogs. They will be pressed on by the hand of God. Make no mistake about that. And everybody will be sitting and saying, my God, there's a divine feminine Messiah in the house. And God be saying, we told you. What did you not need to see, hear, and know? We've been telling you for 17 years she's Messiah. What more do you need? But you know, you just keep throwing your hate and you keep throwing silence and you keep blocking her programs, you keep blocking her platforms. And then we're going to show you today. Watch my platform today, dear lighted ones. I'm going to show you 2 pictures. I'm going to show you the picture when I click on videos and how many views. And then I'm going to click on another picture 5 seconds later and it's going to show how many videos are being put. How many views are being pilfered? How many videos? How many streams? How many comments? How many hate comments? How many things being thrown at me? I'm going to show you. And YouTube says there's nothing going on. Why? Because YouTube paid to have me silenced and have me blocked so that I never make money on my channel. I've been here for 17 years. I've been doing my work for 17 years. I've written and published on my own books. And I'm working on number 4 and I'm working on number 5 and I'm going to change this world. Because there's been nothing but corruption and suppression and subjugation, and make no mistake about it, dear lighted ones, I am ranked. I'm ranked. And ain't no 3D person going to stop my path. And God's going to move you out of the way and it will be shown. If you want to spit on God, it will be shown, and then there is a God. And if you don't work with God, then you're going to be left where you're going to be left, because church and state aren't going to show you through ascension. They just ain't. They don't have the wisdom. The only wisdom is, the only way through is love and healing yourself. The only way through is making right and truth and standing in it. And if you're not going to stand in it, who's going to stand in it? You stand in this truth. You're standing in somebody else's morals or values or standards. And what is that, dear lighted ones? Is that who you are? Is that who you are? It's not who you are. I'm asking each and every one of you today, who are you? And stand in it. And face that shadow and say, I can face you, demon. Faced 100 of you before. Come and bring it. I got ya. and you transmute it, and you alchemize it, and you activate your DNA, and you become more fully in your Merkaba. You become more fully in your light, and that's being godly, dear lighted ones. I got no church, and I got no pulpit. I don't ask for your monies to believe in me. I ask for your monies because money's being suppressed, and I haven't eaten in 5 days. And if you got a good heart and if you got the resources, then donate, because I give out wise wisdoms that nobody else gives on this planet. The only one that teaches what I teach. I am the Messiah. I've earned it. And God will show each and one of you. If you want to question it, you want to throw dirt at me, you want to throw hate at me, God will show each and every one of you, and you will be sat down. And that's not me, that's God. Because I said enough is enough. I'm just like everybody else. If all the other light workers have a channel and they're opened every day to monetization, why am I not I? Why haven't I earned a penny on anything? Because I've been suppressed. And I'm saying you're going to be hit with the thumb of God. And that thumb of God is going to press on everything that you hold dear, whether it's your health, whether it's your money, whether it's your 6 mansions, God it to you. Because you don't deserve to be a $450 billion company, and you're suppressing one divine feminine healer that is the healer for the whole planet. And I've come for the whole planet. I've come for the galaxy. Multiverse, make no mistake, my voice ranks. And I've been sat down ugliest of those people that say that they are righteous, and they say that they are high, and they say that they're of order, and they are nothing but haters. And they're throwing targets at me every night in my sleep. So I'm one last time. If you're a $450 billion company and you're suppressing one divine feminine healer at 2,000 subs, and I've been there for 8 years, are you saying you're ranked? If you have to take payments from elites for soul harvesting, for me to be silenced and stopped, for me never to be seen, but for the Truman Show of those that choose to be seen. Because I've been a Truman Show since the day I was born. And all these elites have been making money off my energy, off my ideas, off my light, off my ranking, off my spirituality, my gifts, off my power, and they've been doing very naughty things with it. And if you see what I see behind the scenes, dear lighted ones, you wouldn't wish you were a seer. You wouldn't wish you saw what I saw. People have done the most vile to the most innocent. And they will be down, they will go to jail, and they will be seen in criminal court by me, and I will face you for your sentencing. A $450 billion company, a 2,000 subscriber divine feminine healer channel. And there ain't been this for the last 8 years. And you tell me if that's fair. And I'm going to show it when I put up my photos. I'll show it on my photos. Go to my photo when I pull up this video, and I put it on my videos. And I load it, and it goes on my playlist. Go watch it. I want everybody to watch it. I want everybody to send comments to YouTube. How dare you? How dare you silence this Messiah? How dare you silence this holy light that's come from the heavens, that's come from the multiverse, that's celestial ranked, that's vibrationally ranked, heavenly ranked, that's holy ranked, that is humanly ranked. I've been on every earth lifetime 983 times, and nobody will suppress me. And God's going to press on each and every one of you that try. And you're all being shown now because your magic's going back, and now you're all dying, and you're all diseased, and you're all going into, and you chose that upon yourself because we gave you all 3 years. We gave you 3 years to return what was not yours to touch. While you partied, and you had your sex orgies to manifest off my light, and you did vile things with that energy, and all you did was manifest more stuff and houses to sit in, and more money to throw hate at me, and more money to suppress me, and more money to me living in my car and not eating for 15 days at a time. And you think this is the karma that you're going to get from a divine being. You think you're going to be blessed in the deeds that you do to a divine being. I want everybody to think about your deeds every day. Is it consciousness? Are you standing up for the unity of all? Are you standing up for the voices of the? Are you standing up for the ecology? Are you standing up for the oceans and the air? Are you standing up for the trees and the animals? Are you standing up for the innocent ones? Are you standing up for your own journey? Because that's your job. I've spoken truth from day one. You're going to stop me. And God's showing everybody. God's showing everybody. Hands down. My daughter will not be touched. I have earned my ranking. I will step forward in my ranking. And so be the 5D New Earth Star. Because we deserve liberated, aligned healers. And teachers and leaders that will show the people the way. Because church and state ain't doing it, dear lighted ones. And you have to ask yourself, is your sin that important? Do you want to be balanced, divine, feminine, masculine energy so that you can rise to eternal life? Yes or no? Do you want to rise to 5D eternal life? Yes or no? Do you want to rise to your celestial gifts? Yes or no? Do you want to activate your DNA? Yes or no? Fully in your Merkaba? Yes or no? Do you want to be the highest version of you that you can ever be on this planet otherwise? Because you touch all galaxies, you touch all planets, you touch all universes. Yes or no? Do you want to be the fullest version of you? Yes or no? That's why I'm the Messiah, dear light. Take you to the place where you began.
I'm going to take you there. If that triggers you, then go away and do some work. Because I'm triggering you to do more work. I'm triggering you to get there. Go back to your soul's blueprint, delighted ones. You're a divine being and you're here for an authentic just for you. Stand up for that. Stand up for your voice. Stand up for your light language. Stand up for the way that you create. Stand up for the way that you speak. Because you speak of spirit, of you. That's why I'm ranked. Why am I ranked? I want everybody to ask themselves this question as we close this very beautiful session of sermon off. Why am I ranked? There's one very important thing that God pays attention to, dear lighted ones, and it is the authenticity of who you are. Because I speak for my spirit, I speak for my soul. I'm a crystalline child, I will speak for that child. I'm a vibrational child, I will speak for that vibrational child. I was a raped child, I will speak for that child. I was a discriminated child, I will speak for that child. I was a child that was ill in my energies, I will speak for that child. I'm a vibrational healer, I will speak for that child. I'm a teacher, I'm a healer, I'm a creative genius, I will speak for that child. In whatever body I'm in, I will speak for it. And that's what God holds so important, and that's why I'm ranked. I've been on every journey. I've been on every journey of discrimination. I haven't eaten for 15 days, and then what? What do you got for me next? And I'm going to ask you every time, in every dark deed that you do, what next? In every dark deed that you do, what next? You're going to come into more karma. You're going to come into more illness, more disease. Why? Because that's what you're spewing. And it can't be no other way, because that's quantum. Whatever you put out is coming back. Why? Because it's quantum law, dear lighted ones. Do you want to heal or don't you? I teach you how to heal. I teach you how to face your shadow. I teach you how to be more, to be authentic. I teach you how to be genuine. And there's a soul blueprint that God will lift you in it. God will lift you in your soul's blueprint. Speak for it. And while you do the inner work, because you're interfaced with your teams and you say, what's my blueprint? I want to know my blueprint, God, my blueprint. I want to speak the truth of my soul. Because when you speak the truth of your soul, you got ranking. And you move things, you move the universe. You move, the universe converges. That's my ranking. I change things, I shift things, I shift the universe. The universe shifts on my behalf. That's my power. It doesn't matter if nobody else, I don't give a fuck about anybody's beliefs. I don't give a fuck. Their beliefs are not my problem. Their beliefs are not my issue. When I speak, the universe changes because I am the Holy Creator, because I'm standing in it. That's integration, dear lighted ones. And I can be soft and I can receive what I'm due. Because I need to. Because I've earned it. Because I've gone to the darkest places no other light worker would go, and God gives me that every night. Nobody could have gone where you went. Nobody could have done what you did. I sent you because you were the best. Nobody can navigate the devil like you. So bring it. What do you got next? What do you got, elites? What do you got next, government officials? What do you got next? I'll see you in court and I'll wrap circles around you because I'm higher, advanced, and I'm an ultra human just like you. But God fixed all the errors that you made. I'm an advanced and I ain't going away. I am a leader and I'm a teacher and I'm a healer. Are you tapped in? Do you want to go to 5D or not? You want to be 5D or not? Integrated or not? Is your soul's evolution important or not? Do you want to carry on your species or not? Who are you? Take a deep breath, dear lighted ones. Deep breath, breathe in light, breathe in light, breathe in light. And just visualize crystalline light bathing on your fields, crystalline light bathing through your chakras, crystalline light bathing on your crown chakra. You should be clearing your crown chakra and your third eye every day. And if you're speaking your truth voice, then your throat chakra will be cleared every day. Tap into your I am presence every day. I am that I am, I am that I am, I am that I am. Some of these chants are ancient. Some of these chants are ancient lineage from Atlantis. Some of these chants are ancient from Lemuria. Some of these chants are ancient from Pleiades. Some of these chants are ancient. You don't know how ancient you are, delighted ones. I'm active, delighted ones. Are you being genuine and authentic, or are you following somebody else? Never follow anybody. The ones that are not in your soul blueprint, you are. You and God are your soul blueprint. You and God are your soul blueprint. You and God are your soul blueprint. That's why I'm ranked. Because me and God, no matter what anybody else says, and I will say what I will say, and God says, share it now, share it wide. Share it now, share it wide, daughter. Doesn't matter what anybody else says, I will support you and I will protect you. I have legions on my back protecting me. Why? Because I say what I say. I say what I say and I mean what I say. And there ain't no twisting it back and forth. No, I didn't say that. I said this. That's what I mean. I mean what I say and I say what I mean. That's my soul's. My soul's ranking is this. I've earned it. I know who I am. And why can't I be that? Why can't I be that without being attacked every day? Why can't I be that without suppressing? I got no money coming in. I got to be starved. Why is that? I can go 15 days. Let me try for 16. Because I've proven to everybody I don't need resources. I don't need anybody. It's me and God. That's ranking. It ain't nothing to do with church and state. And God wanted to prove that to everybody because there's so many in church and state that have been doing so horrible things. And everybody's going to be seen for who they are and what they've done because they've chosen not to make right to the very beautiful being that was here to bring humanity to higher vibrations of light. And that's me. I'm a Messiah. I'm a master. Done nothing but silence me and target me and intend to take me out of death and poisoning and infection of disease. But they can't, and they won't. And that's God's promise. And so I'm going to move forward, dear lighted ones, and I hope and I thank you for joining me today, each and every one of you. Each and every one of you are special divine beings from all over the multiverse. That's why you're before me, because I carry codes from all over the multiverse, and I'm here to activate you to be more genuine. Who are you? Get connected with your soul's blueprint. It's everything. It's connected to DNA. It's connected to your DNA activations. It's connected to what's coming up to you every day that needs to be healed and integrated. And this is what I teach. I teach this. Share my channel. And many videos are going to be pilfering out. We'll just see today, and another note's going to go to YouTube, and they're going to say nothing's wrong. We're not silencing you. Oh, okay. Okay there. Our next video, we're going to talk about the cerebellum. We're going to talk about the brain because we want to DNA activations and the enhancements that go on with the brain. I'm so excited about the brain. Dear lighted ones, I love you so very much. And that channel was from the Octarians. Ninth dimensional Octarians. Thank you, Octarians. They're always in my favor. Thank you, Octarians. And we're going to say a little prayer of peace to the Mother and the Father, creators that are with us. Divine Mother and the Divine Feminine, the Divine Father and the Divine Masculine. Thank you, Holy Creator. I'm thanking the Holy Creator for all blessings that are coming forth to me in whatever way and however way they should. And I'm so grateful for my collective that allows me to share my teachings and my voice. I'm thanking for the disciples that have been with me since day one, and they know who they are. They're the beautiful roses in the Mother Father's garden. Thank you, Holy Spirit. I am connected with my divine higher self and my teams of love and light through all connections, through all relations, through all realms, and through all densities and all realms of vibration. Thank you to Spirit Guides, and thank you to Earth and Gaia. Thank you to the elementals and the fairies. Thank you, Holy Creator. Take a breath. Lock in this prayer of love and gratitude and ground. Ground, 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 ground. You are now fully active divine being of the Holy Universe. You are a universal being and a multiversal being, so accept that. Translateral just simply means you get to have energy moving back and forth as freely as you wish and just be open and responsible with your communications. And by all means, lift up the children in the highest level of education and acceptance of who they are, because there's so many misguided people and misinformation out there, and we need higher vibration wisdoms. Thank you, dear lighted ones. We love you so very much. Please give donations and sessions. I would love to book new collaborations all over the planet. I would love to do classes for the Interpol investigations. I would love to create classes for higher vibrational investigations with you. So please feel free to contact me. My working with higher vibrational dimensional beings on my blog post. It's usually on my YouTube page as well. If you want to read that over, that would be really great. We thank you and we love you, dear lighted ones. Donations and sessions. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for you. I love you. I love you. I love you. We hope. Please share this experience. I'm going to put in the title trans, DNA, and hybrid DNA. It's really, really important that we allow the sacred voice of everybody on our planet for their soul's expression. And everybody belongs and everybody is needed. And we love you so very much. Unity consciousness is everything, lighted ones. We love you. Bye.